I just want to make something pretty clear. Um, as far as who takes the most damage, as far as the narcissist or the flying monkeys or the secondary supply or the primary supply, the scapegoat, you know, from my experience and what, uh, from my experience, the main supply, the main punching bag, the scapegoat or the primary supply, the main punching bag at the house takes the most damage by far out of anybody. I know people say, "Oh, the narcissist suffers. Oh, just being themselves, they suffer." They don't suffer like the punching bag. They don't suffer like the primary supply, the primary target. From what I saw and experienced and endured, uh, the the primary supply, the scapegoat, whatever you want to call it, takes the most damage, hands down, out of anybody in the circle over the enabler or, you know, whatever, the golden child, whatever. Hands down, the primary scapegoat or the main primary source takes the most damage out of anybody in that network, out of the network. Uh, and that's what pisses me off the most is like, from what I was seeing, the narcissist didn't go through shit. Compared to me, they didn't go through shit. They just had a smirk on their face while they were fucking tormenting me, like on purpose, underneath it, they were just enjoying it, inside, and I even saw that smirk, of like, I haven't gone through anything. You know what I mean? That happened. That moment happened. You know what I mean? And I remember it. Just that pleased with themselves of how much they got away with, how much they got away with screwing with me. You know what I mean? Uh, just messing with me, controlling me, bullying me. And, I had all these injuries, that they knew I had to fix, and I had to get counseling and all this and that, and they just had this pleased smirk on their face, just smiling, but in reality, and this is what I know, they're more screwed up than I am as far as like uh evil goes. Like, I'm you know what I'm saying? Like, they have targets that they know they're going to abuse, and then they pick them out, and then they charm them, and then they ensnare them. I'm not doing that. That's the difference. I'm not twisted in that degree of where they're tricking people and snaring them and then torturing them, basically, you know, uh, for supply reasons. But yeah, like, people say the narcissist suffers. They may suffer a little bit, but in comparison, like, from my vantage point, the primary supply suffers the most out of the whole network. The primary supply, the main target, the main punching bag, they suffer the most, hands down, just in all areas. Um, I mean, maybe the narcissist suffers in after they die. I don't know, but from on this planet, from what I saw, they didn't suffer for shit comparatively, and that's what pisses me off is they didn't suffer for shit. They put me through all this bullshit and smeared my name, you know, called me every name in the fucking book, and they just sat back and just laughed in their head. I swear to God, they were just enjoying themselves like king of the castle. And that's what pisses me off. It's just like they were allowed to do all this bullshit unchallenged in the security of their own home, They're allowed to abuse anybody, use anybody, control anybody, mess with anybody, unchallenged, basically. And they knew their mask was so good that they could fool any authority. Like, oh, there's nothing going on here. They could fool any authority, and that's what you're up against. You're up against their charming mask that the outside public thinks they're normal, and that's the main struggle of proving your case, proving your side of the story. You're up against a likable, charming mask. You know what I mean? Uh, you ain't gonna win. Like I knew I wasn't gonna win. Um, yeah, this guy's a monster. You just don't know it. You know, they'll just laugh in my face. You know what I mean? So, anyways, I just wanted to say that, like, I just hear on other channels that just being the narcissist is suffering and torture, and that may be true to an extent, but from what I saw, they don't go through shit, and they make sure they don't go through shit. They make the other person the slave. They make the other person suffer. They mess with the other person, while they just sit back and just pretty much laugh in their head. You know what I'm saying? They're just laughing in their head, uh, and taking no damage, none that I saw. I mean, comparatively, like, yeah. Anyways, that's all I want to say. It's just so screwed up what a parent will do to destroy a child. You know what I mean? The lengths they will go to try to destroy a child through any method. Any method they'll try to destroy a child. You know what I mean? Their own child, just try to destroy it. They don't even give a fuck. I mean, they'll talk like they care, but they don't. You know what I mean? Uh, you see the true selves behind the closed doors. So, I've seen the true selves a lot. I've seen the true selves a lot in life. Everybody else gets the show. Everybody else gets the facade. Everybody else gets the pretend circus. It's just a circus. Everybody else gets that bullshit. I got the real fucking demon. But anyways, you've seen it. I've seen it. It's like beyond any crime you could think. It's so criminal. It's it's so criminal. I just can't put it into words. Like, I don't know. That's all I wanted to say. Is just like, it's just hard when they're alive still, and they took no consequence, zero consequence. At least in this life, I didn't see any consequence. The only one that took consequence was me. I was the one that took consequence for everything, all tactics used against me. I took the consequence. I took it all. You know, and that's what pisses me off. Is just like, yeah, God may be helping me now, but like, he could have just killed the narcissist when I was like 5 years old. Problem solved. Just kill my parents. Problem solved. You know what I mean? What's so hard about that? That's how I see it. I shouldn't even be in this recovery process at all. If if God just would have eliminated evil, uh, instead of just having me battle it for decades, trying to survive, uh, that bullshit through any method I could to survive, escape, even pretend that I was mentally ill, like they said, or crazier than they said I was, even pretend, play that role for them, just to play along with their narrative, just to be safe. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the extent it got to. It was just like, okay, I'm the bad guy. I'm the bad guy. I'm mentally ill. I'm crazy. I'm nuts. Look how crazy I am. I'm going along with their narrative. Look how crazy I am. Please don't hurt me. You know what I mean? In my mind, I'm like, I know they're the crazy ones. I know they're the dangerous ones. Like in my mind, I'm like, I know who the dangerous ones are. I know who the crazy ones are. Uh, but I didn't know God knew that they were the crazy ones. I knew, but I don't know. I thought it all went unseen. You know what I mean? All these bizarre behaviors and yeah, just surviving around a psychopath basically. But anyways, I'm glad I vented that out. But it's just hard sometimes because they're alive still, and I'm still paying the consequences of their actions, and I'm supposed to just not do anything about it. I'm supposed to give up. I'm supposed to give up on any justice, you know, and just look away and pretend it never happened and just keep going and just with the damage they did to me, just keep going and just be okay with it and just walk away. And it's just not my style, like I don't know. I always planned to be the one that was going to rain vengeance on them, you know? Anyone that laid a hand on me, I was going to rain vengeance on myself. Once I got the strength, uh, once I healed enough, uh, it was going to be me to send them to wherever they think they are going to go after they die. I was going to send them there. And then wherever I went afterwards, I'll send myself there, you know. It was just going to be a mess, I guess. I don't know. But I don't know. I should be angry, like, and every scapegoat child should be angry as fuck, you know. Uh you literally went through something that was worse than a prisoner of war, in my opinion. You went through a prisoner of war camp, like you were being tortured, but they were keeping you alive so they could torture you. You know what I mean? Like you were in a real prison war camp, in my opinion, like surviving. Uh, like the Viet Cong, you were in their prison camp, uh, while they put on a good guy face, basically. But anyways, I mean, people don't believe me, but like, there's a guy that went to Vietnam in this town. I have more symptoms than he does. He was in Vietnam. I have more symptoms, more PTSD than he does. So I don't want to hear that shit, that fucking, that real war combat causes you to be way more messed up. It ain't true. From what I saw, uh, talking to the Vietnam guy, like I still don't have a full soul. He had more soul than I did. You know, he had more identity. He didn't lose his identity. He had trauma, sure, but not CPTSD, not complex trauma. So, anyways, that's all I wanted to say. Um, just want to validate any survivor of this, like in the scapegoat role. Uh, you're pretty much tortured by in a war camp. You were. You were targeted from birth, straight up. From narcissist parents just made you the scapegoat from birth, and you are the torture doll, basically. Um, all their anger and venom came right at you, you know. So you've seen the you've seen the mask come off, you know. You've seen the rage. You were walking on eggshells most of your life. I still feel like I'm walking on eggshells, and I don't even live with an abuser. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. I don't even live with a psychopath. I'm still walking on eggshells. That's the post effects keep going, you know. But anyways, that's all I wanted to say. I'll talk to you later.